Hi, back for another mentor meeting with Jake Porter and Zach Luther. We've got kids in the room again, so I'll get on to them if they act up. Um, we're here to talk about it's pretty similar to the last time we talked. It's like a second part of this group assignment. Same standard with the Persian Wars, the Greece,
Yeah.
sixth to eighth grade social studies. So we're just kind of expanding upon you remember I told you last time, like I felt like I needed a little bit more time to think about how I would really structure this.
Hmm.
So um they gave us some Kagan strategies to use. So like brain dump, like you'd have the kids, okay, we're talking about this. Write down everything you know about this.
Hmm.
And then once they've done that, we'll get together in groups, think, pair, share,
Hmm.
and then uh they would be divided up into groups with that information. And now they're gonna create their PowerPoint presentation.
Awesome.
So the group roles, facilitator, scribe, spokesperson, all those um, would be researchers as well. You'd just be kind of like divvying it up to where, like a facilitator kind of keeps everybody in line.
Different roles.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would assume in most schools, classes are going to be like, 28, 30. So uh, groups of five, six groups, have six groups for the presentations. Um, I would start by giving them the discussion question, and then that's pretty much what I just told you.
Hmm.
Uh, to monitor them, I would be kind of like walking around, helping people with the research,
Yeah.
helping get them going, making sure everybody's on task. To share their outcomes, they would create their presentation and present a well-structured argument for their claim with evidence and research that they should have gathered while we were doing the research phase.
Yep. Hmm.
Okay, so um, I guess I can go ahead and do the two discussion questions. So those are, what methods for group work have you had the most success with?
Well, that is perfect. I would say to kind of end, probably to end that group presentation is probably important to tie it all together in a way where like you can individually assess to see if they actually
Yeah,
picked up on anything new.
right.
And then with that assessment at the end, you can kind of tell like, well, kind of compare like, well, when this person had this job in the group, those people kind of succeeded more than the others.
Yeah.
But you always want to try to have group work. It's more engaging that way.
Hmm.
But just to make sure to find maybe like a final assessment, um, that's probably like where I find my most success is like, how do I tie it all in at the end to make sure that everyone's kind of mastered the objective today?
Yeah.
So whether it's like um, just kind of like a final thought, like you give them like a flashcard or like maybe a game at the end,
Hmm.
like a quizzes or something like that, or maybe just a group talk and maybe kind of recap the kind of the main points that we were talking about.
Yeah. I would think you'd want to assess in some way because I know from experience working in groups that sometimes you'll have one kid who's kind of taking the main weight of the
Right.
assignment
That's the
and not
toughest.
everybody's pulling their weight.
That's the toughest part in the group is
Yeah.
one always feels like you always feel like one's not doing the most.
Right.
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 Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And another one, I guess this kind of ties into that is how do you make sure the groups stay on task? Like how do you hold them
I
accountable?
always think like walking around is very, very good.
Mhm.
And like, kind of keeping your ears open. And, I think if you most of that I think is preventative or being proactive
Mhm.
to where if you're making sure that you're assigning your groups, you know,
Yeah.
and you're kind of putting people with, like, here, this person will help this person stay on task. I
Right.
think that's kind of like the main one. But let's say, you're not always going to have like the perfect groups all the time,
Yeah.
but you might be hovering around them a little more,
Mhm.
some groups more than others.
Right.
And some might just need more help to get started before they get the ball rolling, so to say.
Okay. I think we're good.
That's it.
Yeah. Nice and short.